Hi everyone, today I have a guide to install Fedora on the Lichee Pi 4a. When I initially did this, it took a little bit of trial and error, so I figured it would be a good idea to show people how to do it. The unofficial Fedora documentation is a little bit confusing. So we're going to start out by grabbing the files that we need. You can run the download required file script, or you can get the files yourself using wget, or just using the browser and downloading them. I'm not going to run this script as I've already prepared an SD card right here. I'm just going to, well, I already have the binary, but I'm going to delete it so I can download it again. So I'm just going to download the U-boot binary. Alright, so now that I have the U-boot binary, we can move on, or now that we have it. Important notes: the U-boot binary is not compatible with the minimal image. I've not been able to get it to work with the minimal image, so make sure you use multi-desktop. Another important note: if you have the 16GB LPDDR4 model of the board, the Fedora U-boot binary still has a bug where only half the memory is recognized. This issue is fixed in the Debian image that you can get for the board, or comes pre-installed if you bought the board after August 6th or whatever. Flashing Fedora to the SD card. Like I said, I already pre-made an image on this SD card. I'm not responsible if you make a mistake and write over the wrong drive. We can use this dd command to flash it to the SD card. You can also use a Balena etcher, which is more user-friendly. Flash U-boot binary. So I wrote up a helper script to watch for the USB gadget device that'll pop up when you put the board in burning mode. It will pop up as T-head USB download gadget. So we're going to go ahead and run that script. To put the board in burning mode, you must find the button labeled boot. It is near the USB-C connector and Wi-Fi module, and this is where the button is, right here. This is our boot button. So we have to hold it down while we power on the board. So let me get the power cable here so I can hold down the button and put it in burning mode. This can be a bit tricky because sometimes it doesn't always work. Like it's going to not work right now. Yeah, this can be a little finicky as it doesn't always want to work. Let's see if I can try what I did last time where I put the SD card in, because I was trying to test this today to make sure I can show it to you. See, it comes up when I put the SD card in. So let's try to get it to come up without the SD card. Alright. That's very nice of it. Got it. So you shouldn't have this problem, but it seems like I'm having this problem. Okay. Does not want to work. This is very finicky. It should not be this hard to do this, because the very first time I did it, I didn't have too much trouble. There is. So now that it showed up, we're going to run our fastboot commands. To flash the binary, you must have Android tools installed and run the following command after the steps from before. This will flash the binary using fastboot to the part of the eMMC used to store U-boot. So we're going to run our fastboot command. And let's see if we can get it to work. All right. Make sure you do not have a UART adapter connected to the UART pins on the board. The board will fail to enter burning mode and will throw an error message over the UART. So that's something I learned. So insert SD card, attach UART, and power on. So we can now insert our SD card. I'm going to power the board off. Then insert our SD card. Okay. And now we're going to attach the UART. So to attach the UART, we're going to need the GPIO pins, which are right here on the back side, same place where the USB-C is. We're going to connect. Now this is a Raspberry Pi UART cable. Well, it's meant for a Raspberry Pi. You can get it from Adafruit. So we're not going to be concerned with this red wire. This is 5-volt power. It's meant to power like a Raspberry Pi Zero or something while you're working on it. So we're going to start with our ground connector, or our ground cable, which is this. And we're going to plug it into pin 2 on the bottom, right there. And then we're going to plug in our RX and TX lines to pin 5 on the top and bottom. Great thing about the official case for the Lichee is that the GPIO is labeled right here, so that's very useful. Alright, now I'm going to plug this into my computer. So to connect to the UART, we're going to use screen. I have to run it as sudo because I'm not a part of the dial group on this system. Our adapter should be TTY USB 0. we're going to use 115200 baud, which is what the UART on this board uses. So we're going to get connected to that. And now we should be able to power on the board and watch Fedora boot from the UART. So here it is. And it kernel panicked again. See, I was trying to do this earlier, and I've been having problems all day with trying to do this again. And now I'm getting kernel panics. So, which is not supposed to happen. No file system could mount root. Try ext4. Now, it may be that my image that I flashed to the SD card is corrupted, so I'm going to reflash the SD card, and then I'll be back. So I just got done flashing the multi-desktop image all over again. That was a very long wait. So now we're going to try putting the SD card back in. Alright, let's see. There it is. And we should see Fedora boot now. So yeah, it was just something wrong with my card. I must have borked it when doing some testing earlier today. And just give it a minute. By the way, I've been trying to make this video all day because this board has been camera shy all day, and the last video where I got it like perfect, my audio ended up getting messed up. So I just can't really win today, so I'm sorry if this isn't very straightforward like I want it to be. But here's our Fedora. Root. RISC-V is the password. Now, the Fedora image is a little bit slow. I don't think it's exactly optimized yet, the Fedora software, like the Debian software is. But it does work. So one of the first things we can do is add a user for ourselves, and we can add this user to the wheel group, so we can use sudo, and we can log in, and yeah, very cool. Should probably set a password too. We're gonna make it freeloader. Oh, it's asking for my current password. Oops. So we're going to make it freeloader. This will work, don't worry. And we now have our own unprivileged user. I hope this guide was as helpful as it could be. This board has been a little bit camera shy today, being a little buggy, and I'm not sure why, because normally it's not this difficult. But essentially, you grab the multi-desktops image, make sure you grab that image, not the minimal one, because the minimal one won't work. You grab the U-boot binary for the Lichee Pi 4a. If you have a 16 gigabyte model, the Fedora U-boot binary still has the bug where it can't recognize all 16 gigabytes of RAM. Mine only recognizes 8 gigabytes of RAM, so that is fixed in the Debian image for this board, so there's that to deal with. The flash Fedora to the SD card, you just use Balena Etcher or the DD command, or if you have to reflash it, use the DD command like I had to do. The flash the U-boot binary image, we ran a script to detect if the download gadget came up, which basically just uses the watch command. Here, I can cat the script. Oh, hold up. Let me control AK. So, basically uses the watch command and greps for T-head USB download gadget with LS USB. So, to put the board in burning mode, we found the boot button, which is right here, if you can see it. To flash the binary, we use Fastboot from Android Tools to flash our U-boot binary to the eMMC on the module. We inserted our SD card and we attached the UART cable so we could watch the serial console. And then we powered on the board and we saw Fedora successfully boot. The GitHub repository with the README and the helper scripts and everything is public. You can find it on my GitHub. It will be linked in the description. And that's it. See you next time.